So the other day I uploaded Bobby's Perspective, Worst of the Anti-Vegans Part 1, and I suggest you all watch it if you haven't already. In that video I mostly discussed the fact that Bobby has been lying about the health issues he had when he was on the vegan diet. Bobby claimed veganism made him extremely underweight, weak, and skinny, when in reality Bobby just had an eating disorder where he was only eating one small meal per day, and he regularly starved himself for prolonged periods of time. But once he started eating a sensible vegan diet, eating multiple meals per day, eating more protein, he gained weight and was able to get back to his normal self, and he did this all on a vegan diet. Yet he's made these ridiculous claims on Instagram that veganism made him weak and skinny, even though this is what he actually looked like when he was following a sensible vegan diet and eating properly. And of course, this is only one of the many lies and excuses Bobby has come up with to justify needlessly supporting the suffering and death of animals with his food choices. So we're going to be taking a look at more of his stupid lies and excuses, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. I'd say his most stupid excuse for going back to eating meat and animal products is that magic mushrooms told him to do it, because you're definitely in the best state of mind to make complex, life-changing decisions that not only affects yourself, but other people and animals around you when you're under the influence of mind-altering drugs. I also think it's important to point out that only a couple years ago, Bobby made 2 videos claiming that psychedelic drugs turned him vegan. So, according to Bobby, psychedelic drugs made him go vegan, but then later on, they made him eat meat again. If you're not familiar with Bobby's channel, he's a huge advocate of psychedelic drug use because he believes you can attain a higher level of knowledge and wisdom from taking these drugs. He thinks they give you some extra sense that you can see past the third dimension and see true reality. Basically, you get access to the spirit realm.
Okay, so let me talk about my belief systems, my sense of spirituality, or whatever we're gonna call this. It's pretty straightforward, actually. There isn't much woo-woo to it. I had a ton of psychedelic experiences, and those psychedelic experiences led me to believe that there is more than just this 3-dimensional realm. There are things that we cannot perceive. The animal kingdom can perceive much more than us humans with our limited senses. So therefore, even science nowadays points towards a realm that we cannot perceive with our 5 senses. Call it the quantum realm, call it the spirit realm, whatever works for you.
But Bobby just proved to us that he's not receiving any kind of knowledge or wisdom from this higher level of consciousness, the spirit realm that he gets to when he's on these drugs, because each time he takes these drugs, he's being fed completely contradictory information. On one trip, the drugs will tell him to go vegan, but then on the next trip, they'll tell him to eat animal products again. So if Bobby is going to claim that he is compelled to follow whatever knowledge or wisdom he accessed during these psychedelic drug experiences, well, then that's not a justifiable excuse to go back to eating meat and animal products, because clearly, these drugs are not a reliable source of information, and I think it's pretty obvious what's actually going on here. Either Bobby is just completely bull about these psychedelic drug stories because he feels it validates his unethical choices. So essentially he's turning psychedelic drug use into its own religion. Instead of saying, well, I had to give up veganism because God told me, he's saying, well, I had to give up veganism because the psychedelic drugs, the mushrooms told me. Either that, or he's actually stupid enough to believe that when he's on these drugs, he's accessing the spirit realm or getting knowledge and information from some higher power, and he's not just experiencing his own thoughts and feelings in a unique way while he's on these drugs.
But lately I felt the urge to experience magic mushrooms again. It has been a while, so I said to myself, why not? Let's see what the mushroom teacher has in store. In that particular mushroom experience, I got the message of eating an egg.
Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about how mushrooms convinced me to become hermaphrodite. So a little while ago I take mushrooms and I had an out of body experience where I became earthworm. And of course earthworms have both male and female reproductive organs. So what the mushrooms were trying to tell me is that I need to return to earth, return to nature, and the way I can do this is to become like earthworm, have both penis and vagina. So I have started a GoFundMe campaign so that I can afford this surgery and have vagina implanted into me.
So I covered this in my previous video. Again, if you haven't seen it already, I suggest you go and watch it. But Bobby has lied about his health issues while he was on a vegan diet. He claimed veganism ruined his health when, in reality, he had an eating disorder. And I think this is where this is all stemming from. Bobby has a long history of disordered eating. He clearly has food anxiety issues. When he first started his channel, he was following a raw vegan diet. He was only eating 1 meal per day, and he'd also go for extended periods of time without eating any solid food. So I think it's pretty clear what actually happened during this mushroom experience where he claimed the mushrooms told him to eat animal products again. It sounds like he was just venting his frustrations with his food anxiety issues. Before, he'd be extremely restrictive with his eating because he had an eating disorder, he had a lot of food anxiety, this gave him a lot of stress, but during the mushroom trip he realized he has to get rid of this food anxiety, he has to get rid of the stress that his, eating disorder is causing him. So he ended up just deciding to eat whatever he wanted, including animal products. So no, the mushrooms didn't give you access to some spirit realm, higher level of knowledge, wisdom. God didn't tell you to quit veganism. You were just trying to deal with your eating disorder the only way you really knew how to.
And the same applies to the animal products. I was convinced that we do not need them. This is why I went vegan. First and foremost, I was always a compassionate being and I love animals to death. But, of course, I have to keep in mind that I need to be healthy in order to have a successful life. That is just what it is. You cannot sacrifice yourself for an ideology. For me, it was crystal clear that eating plants only is the way to go. And it was the way to go back then. As for right now, I cannot sustain myself on a vegan diet. That is just the truth. And hence, I need to experiment with animal products.
Bobby also claimed that he needs animal products to be healthy, but there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Bobby was able to gain weight, build muscle, and get back to his normal self while eating a vegan diet, and you can get all the nutrition you need on an appropriately planned vegan diet. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the largest organization of nutrition professionals in the world, released a peer-reviewed paper stating that vegan diets are nutritionally adequate and suitable for all stages of the life cycle, and are even appropriate for athletes, and I think Bobby himself is good evidence of that. He looked exactly the same back when he was vegan, but instead of telling the truth, he just decided to lie about this on Instagram in order to come up with a better excuse for going back to eating animal products. And if Bobby is going to claim that he's doing this just for health reasons, then why the hell are you eating a diet loaded with cholesterol, saturated fat, and red meat? These foods have been proven to increase risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain forms of cancer, and it's no wonder that in every prospective cohort study you'll find that vegans have the lowest risk of ischemic heart disease, diabetes, and cancer.
So, I know a lot of vegans are telling me that I do not need to become hermaphrodite to be healthy, but I will tell you that after experiencing my first female orgasm, I already feel much better. Clearly, for me, veganism is not enough and I need the nutrients from foods like sausage. And I know vegans are upset that I am killing animals, but sometimes I eat man sausage and I suck on it so that it lasts longer. And you can suck on male sausage without killing any animals. So therefore, clearly, This is a more ethical approach than veganism.
So since the mushroom and health excuses Bobby came up with are complete bull, he decided to make up some moral excuses, suggesting that veganism actually harms more animals. And Bobby started making this video series called Ask a Farmer, and as you could imagine, these videos are extraordinarily biased and riddled with misinformation.
Rob, the question of today is, who kills more animals? Vegans or carnivores?
The short answer to the question is eating grass-fed beef gives you the least animal impact. You get a lot of food from one animal and it has impacted on very few other animals. So you get one death, feeds a lot of people and doesn't affect much else. And then there's a scale after that. So the long answer is it really depends what you're eating. If you're eating grass-fed beef, that's the best you can do. The worst you can do is grain-fed herbivores, so cattle, sheep and goats. If you feed them exclusively grain and high-quality grain, that's the worst you can do out of everything. So between that spectrum, you've got other things that fall in there. For example, you could eat the cereal or monocultured crops. Now that is bad. If you're on a vegan diet, you're killing a lot of animals in a really bad way. Because as soon as you put a monoculture in, you strip away all the feed, so anything that relied on that feed is suddenly been starved out or crushed up by the machine preparing the field. The next thing you do is you plant your crop. The small animals and birds and lizards come back in and start breeding up. And sometimes you have to control them, so you bait, and that kills a heap of animals, and it kills a lot of non-target specific ones. So you kill a lot of the hawks and eagles that come in and try and eat the small animals that are growing in that field. Then you harvest, so the food is stripped off, you kill a heap more animals when you're harvesting, and then what's left starves out.
Okay, so first of all, this farmer is perpetuating misinformation from a paper written by Stephen Davis, which was published in the Journal of Agriculture and Environmental Ethics back in 2003. Stephen Davis argued that a vegan diet would result in more animal deaths due to wild animals being killed in crop harvesting. However, there was a huge error in Stephen Davis's calculations. He assumed that equal amounts of land will produce equal amounts of food from crops or from animals on pasture. This, of course, is false. Growing crops will produce far more food on the same amount of land. And once Gavrik Matheny corrected Stephen Davis's calculations, it turns out Davis's own paper proved that a vegan diet would result in far fewer animal deaths. And you can see a graph for the amount of animals killed to produce 1 million calories in 8 food groups. Grains cause the fewest animal deaths, whereas grass-fed beef is actually one of the worst animal products for causing animal deaths. This farmer is also wrong about his claims that when you raise animals on pasture, you only end up killing one animal for each animal slaughtered. Farmers have to hunt and or trap predators like foxes, coyotes, wolves, or large cats, and this has even led to species extinction. The eastern puma was recently declared extinct by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and this has been attributed to farmers hunting and trapping them to protect their livestock. And a recent study published in Ecology Letters also found that many Amazonian species are threatened by deforestation, which has been brought about by cattle ranching. So this farmer is wrong about everything he said. Plant agriculture ends up killing far fewer animals, and wild animals are also killed due to animal agriculture, and animal agriculture is arguably a bigger threat to species extinction, and this farmer isn't just ignorant, he's just blatantly lying. He is deliberately trying to mislead people with misinformation, but Bobby just goes along and acts like he agrees with everything he says because Bobby is just seeking validation from anyone he can.
It is time to investigate. Often you hear vegans brag about their diet. It is cruelty-free. No deaths required for my plate. Is that really so? Today we want to investigate. We want to ask Rob Tunks. What is the difference between accidental and intentional death?
So where we're standing here, we had hay bales. So we had 342 hay bales here. And as we've been lifting up the last 10, we've been counting how many mice have been underneath. And we've averaged about 6 mice per hay bale that we've been feeding out to the lambs. Sure, we're damaging their burrows when we lift these hay bales up, but what we're not doing is killing them. There's plenty of feed still here, and they can move, make a new home somewhere else. And the other thing we're not doing is we're not digging down to find out how many mice are actually there. So when Bobby comes over to Australia, what we'll do is we'll come out with a shovel and we'll dig up a few of these holes and find out what the real numbers is. But for now, we're seeing 6. And even playing the video back that we've shot, you can see there's actually more of them moving around in the burrows than the ones that we counted on top. So we've just been counting the ones we easily see, but you'll see in the corner of some of the footage, there's actually mice moving through the burrows. 342 hay bales by 6, so 2,052 mice. That's how many mice we are going to kill if we tear this paddock up and plant oats. So that's my intention this year, is to put some oats in. So the vegans watching this, leave a comment below if you want me to do that. You know, there's at least 2,000 animals are going to die for me sowing down this small section of paddock. So there's 10 hectares here. You can see from the drone footage. There's 10 hectares here. At the very minimum, we're killing 2,052 animals. That's the minimum, and I'm sure the number's way higher than that because we haven't dug up these burrows. You can probably double that. There's probably 4,000 animals. None of this death's incidental. This is all pre-planned and premeditated. We can stop right now. I can say, no, I'm not going to put oats in. Let's just eat these lambs and wear the wool. So 1,500 lambs came off this property last year, were sold into the market, plus the turning over of the old sheep, so there's another 200 there. So there's 1,700 animals died to produce the food off this place from last year. If I put a crop in here, we're going to be well over the 2,000s, and that's just the ones we can find.
And of course, this makes absolutely zero sense because this farmer isn't accounting for the fact that he has to make the hay bales. And guess what you have to do to make the hay bales? You have to cut and collect the grass, which isn't too dissimilar to harvesting oats, where you have to cut and collect the oats. So this farmer is claiming that cutting and harvesting oats kills thousands upon thousands of animals on even one small piece of land, but cutting and harvesting hay kills absolutely 0 animals. Cool story, bro. This farmer's also using this hay to feed his lambs, so not only is he going to kill mice, snakes, and whatever other creatures are in this field when he collects the hay to feed to his lambs, but he's also going to kill his lambs on top of that, and in order to protect his lambs, he may also have to kill predators, wild animals, like dogs, wolves, coyotes, foxes, or large cats, large birds. So I've seen a good amount of Bobby's content, and him being one of the bigger anti-vegan channels, I challenged him to a debate so that I could debunk his misinformation live. Well, Bobby initially agreed to debate me. So at first we agreed to set up a debate sometime in mid-March. Bobby also said that he's not really excited about discussing research. I'm assuming that's because he doesn't really read or know anything about research, but he said he understands that we will have to refer to some, and he asked that we provide each other with the research we're going to be relying on ahead of time before the debate, so things just go a little smoother, and these messages were sent March 1st. Now, Bobby said he's traveling and he doesn't have stable internet right now, and I was just waiting for a confirmed date for this debate, so I didn't bother sending him any research yet. And then on March 18th, Bobby made this video.
Cutting it short here. I told Richard to send me his studies, and then let's do it. Richard said, no problem, let's do it. So, I was waiting, didn't get anything. Asked him again, didn't get anything. Asked him again, didn't get anything. So, that was basically 2 weeks ago. Every couple of days, I write Richard and ask him about those studies. He postpones it. It is up to him. I am here. I'm ready to debate. No worries. Let's do it. And again, I'm ready for a podcast format as well.
So Bobby seems pretty eager to have this debate, and he really wants me to send over the research right away so we can start the debate as soon as possible. So on March 21st, I sent him over the research I was going to be relying on for this debate, even though he still wouldn't give me a date for this debate. Then Bobby tells me that he's going to need at least 2 weeks to be prepared for this debate, and he's currently traveling to Europe. So after Bobby got to Europe and had stable internet, he ended up refusing to debate me if I used any research. So this wasn't discussed on Facebook, but he did demand this during a live stream, and I agreed to his demands in the chat. I'm not sure if Bobby deleted this live stream because I can't find the clip anymore, but he did mention this in a later live stream.
I'm absolutely afraid. I am hiding, like many people say, hiding in the bushes. I am very afraid of debating vegans. Now, but shit aside, we already agreed to a debate with no studies. I'm actually really intrigued to see how that goes, because I never heard Richard talk in person, talk as a human being. So hey, the pleasure is all mine. I can't wait.
So isn't that weird? Bobby went from, oh yeah, let's do this debate, just send me over the research. Oh hey dude, send me over the research. You're not sending me over the research. Make sure you send me the research so we can get this debate going. And then when I send him over the research, oh, there's no way I'll ever debate you if you use any research. And then when I agree to his ridiculous debate demands, I'll debate him without using any research. He just avoids me. I kept asking him multiple times, hey dude, can you set up a debate so we can do this live stream, have this debate? He'd just ignore me, keep making up excuses. He did different live streams and debates with at least 4 different people during this time period, including John Venus. And then eventually, he just flat out refused to debate me, and he made a video about it, making up bull excuses.
If you are such a tough guy, why can't you back it up? If you make claims on the internet, you have to back it up. It's that simple. So why are you scared to talk to Bartke? I mean, needless to say, it is not about him ambushing you or sending fans to you. It is because you are scared to talk to somebody that actually has the scientific backup. It's that simple. You like to quote studies, but when it comes down to a real discussion with a scientist, you're pussying out. It's that simple, man. You want to talk to people that can't battle you in listing studies. That is all you're good at. You have no real-life experience.
So Bobby is now claiming that the only reason I want to debate him is because he's uneducated and unable to back up his claims with research, and that's why I'm avoiding a debate with Bart, because he's well-educated. Well, no, I'm avoiding a debate with Bart because he doxes people. I'm perfectly fine with debating people who are well-educated. I'm going to have a debate with somebody who has a PhD in biochemistry, Dr. Roston C. PhD, next month. So Bobby lied about that, and he's also lying again about our debate. Bobby admitted during a live stream that we both agreed to have a debate without using any research. So why is Bobby using research as an excuse not to debate me? It's because he's a liar. He constantly makes up bull whenever it suits him. He lied about the health issues he had on a vegan diet, and now he's lying about the debate we're going to have. He constantly lies and changes his story around whenever it suits him.
Weird how when you finally have time, instead of setting up the debate between us, you just do a bunch of other random live streams. Like I said, if you don't want to debate, just say so. Man, you're eating too much soy, bro. Honestly. You're eating too much phytoestrogens. You are behaving like a b****. Who in his right mind writes another man like this? I told you, I will get back to you. I told you, I will talk to you when I have the time. I'm busy traveling the world and doing exciting shit. You are sitting there in front of your screen and begging for attention. You're hoping Bobby will talk to you. You're hoping you can connect to Bobby. And let's be honest here, man. I actually liked you back in the day. And you blew the chance. We could have been friends, but you've been too pushy. So, hence I respond, you sound like my jealous ex-girlfriend. As I said, when I have the time for your debate, I let you know. If you can't wait, that is cool too. That is our exchange, and that is what Richard doesn't want you to see. After that, obviously, he didn't respond anymore. After that, he did a 4-hour, Jesus Christ, a 4-hour live stream about me and shared his obsession with his viewers. It is absolutely pathetic and saddening to see. Richard, you are everything what is wrong with our society. You are the manifestation of what is evil in our society. You are the epitome of the soy boy cuck.
So then he calls me a soy boy cuck when he's the one who cucked out of the debate. At first, he agreed to debate me, he asked me to send over research, then when I wasn't sending over research fast enough, he demanded I send over the research so we can get this debate started. Then when I sent him over the research, he refused to debate me if it involved any research, and then when I agreed to his debate demands, he just flat out avoided me, and then when I called him out for trying to dodge this debate, he made this video where he just made up more lies and excuses. So it's very clear, Bobby, that you know you're wrong and you know you're a liar. You lied about veganism making you sick. You lied about how you had to eat meat again because the mushrooms told you to do it. You lied about eating meat again for health reasons. And you're lying about all of your ethical claims, and that's why you won't debate me even after I agree to every one of your ridiculous demands. It's because you don't believe in a single word you say, and if we were to have a debate, I would make that apparent to everyone watching. So if you're going to call me a soy boy cuck, then why don't you grow a pair of balls? I'm perfectly willing to debate you. I'm even perfectly willing to fight you. If you think I'm such a soy boy, then let's settle all of this in a boxing ring. And that way, you won't have to worry about any research.